guys, this is another episode of Fanboy JunKtion. Mr. J here. Got a couple movies I'm going to review and some other random stuff I'm going to talk about. But let's go ahead and start with a big reveal. I guess somebody at Marvel's watching my show because now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just announced that Deathlock, a Marvel character, is actually going to be in the show. Woohoo! Plus, when Sif is going to be there, Lorelai, whatever, she's going to be in the show. So that's two actual Marvel characters in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. Good job, guys. At least somebody's thinking of something. Real question is, did they know that? Or is everybody complaining and it just turned dude into Deathlock? It doesn't matter. Anyway, we can sit here and talk about that and who knows. But, got a couple movies I want to review today. The first of which is JLA Adventures, Trapped in Time. They announced it about a week ago. It's what's called a stealth release, which means nobody knew jack about it until they said, hey, this DVD is going to come out. It only came out at Target. I went and picked it up. It was only about $12, $13. And I wanted to see it just because, why not? It's supposed to be kid-friendly. Most of those DC Direct DVDs are not kid-friendly. I mean, they're really good. I love them, epic, intensity, but, you know, my 7-year-old, you can't really watch a lot of those ones. So I went and got it, and she watched it, and then I watched it. I watched some of it with her, and then, you know, the whole family kind of sat around and watched it. And I was pleasantly surprised. There is a pilot for a Justice League cartoon. It's on YouTube. It's definitely 52 kind of influenced. I'll have to put a link down there so you can check it out. And I was really worried that that was what this DVD was going to be, because that cartoon was kind of eh. This cartoon, it was actually, like I said, it was real good. It was definitely aimed at a more kid-friendly audience. It kind of was like if they made the Justice League cartoon a Saturday morning cartoon. In all honesty, when I look at this cartoon, it looks like it's a pilot. It ends like a pilot movie for a show. So either one of two things. Either one, it was a pilot that nobody picked up, and Marvel just said, hey, let's release it. I'm sorry. DC said, hey, let's just release it through Target, because it looks like Warner Brothers and DC have something going. There's a lot of those Imaginext DC ones that are only at Target. There's a lot of they have a whole line of figures from DC that's only at Target. So I'm just kind of wondering that Target seems to be getting a lot of exclusive DC stuff. So anyway, so this was released. It was very good. But for me, like I said, it's either a pilot that nobody picked up or they're testing it to see if people like it, and there'll be more. I mean, it doesn't end just like, hey, there's a sequel. It ends with, voila, here is the setup for a show. And what that show really is a reboot of the Super Friends. Kind of like the new Turtle cartoon. It's not really a redo of the 2003 cartoon. It's a reboot of the 80s cartoon, just kind of updated and modernized. That's what this is. Superman does have his 52 costume, so he doesn't have the underwear, even though Bizarro does. It was kind of odd, but the show was, the action, I was really surprised, was actually really good. There was a really random scene, and all I can say is this, and you have to go watch it to see. A cornfield and the Legion of Doom and the Justice League are all fighting over a baby carriage being pushed around. It sounds ridiculous, and I'm watching this moment and I'm going, this is either completely hilarious or just kind of, what is going on? I enjoyed watching it. Again, like a reboot. The only thing that I would say, the big thing, is unlike Super Friends, the two intro characters or normal sidekick characters are not utterly useless like Marvin and the girl and the dog or Jan and Zaina. They actually are heroes. It's Karate Kid and Dawnstar. I'm not familiar with the Legion of Superheroes. It's like a superhero group that takes place thousands of years in the future, and they come back in time ever so often and interact with Superman. So I'm not really familiar if the Dawnstar character is actually a character in the comic. Karate Kid I know is. And they kind of come back in time, and this whole plot about them trying to stop Lex Luthor, and they go to the Justice League / Super Friends. That lineup is Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and Robin. And the whole Batman and Robin thing being in there is why I kind of went, wow, it's actually Super Friends just rebooted. Again, if you're looking for something more, this is not a very, like, it's not the Bruce Timm universe intense direct-to-DVD releases. It's a lot more kid-friendly. I'm just curious to see if this does start off a new show. I think it would be I think Justice League needs a new show. Beware the Batman, dead. The Green Lantern cartoon died too. DC on the direct-to-DVD seems to be nailing it. Not since Justice League. Young Justice did a decent job, but not since Justice League, as DC really had a good, strong cartoon presence on television. And I think if they did this, it could be the way in. And like I said, it's almost like a sequel to the Batman Beyond cartoon, because the same guy, Dietrich Bader, who voiced Batman in that show, voices Batman in this movie. But yeah, if you like kids, if you like watching kind of family-friendly stuff, I suggest it. If you're looking for something more Bruce Timm intense, like the more direct-to-DVD stuff they're doing nowadays, I would skip it. Don't worry about it. But if you are looking for intense, if you are wanting the Bruce Timm universe, I call it the Bruce Timm universe. I know he hasn't really been working on it, but I'm just going to say it's his universe. Justice League War. Now, this follows the Flashpoint paradox, which I rewatched again the other day, and it's awesome. I forgot how depressing it is, but it's great. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Anyway, this is kind of the direct sequel to that. Well, not direct sequel. Flashpoint paradox, and hey, spoiler alert, no, the comic's been out for 2 months. The movie's been out for almost a year. It's too bad. So it ends with Superman or Flash having kind of technically rebooted the DC universe, and that's what they did in the comics. Is this whole Flashpoint paradox essentially brought in the reboot. I liked it because Grifter and a lot of the Wildstorm characters were brought in. Milestone. Anyway, point being that this Justice League War is the retelling of the New 52 Justice League series, and it kind of tells how the team formed, a brand new origin in this New 52 universe. But honestly, with the exception of Superman, most of the characters, it's kind of a mix of New 52 costumes and old costumes. Batman's is kind of New 52 because it doesn't have the underwear, same as Superman, but it really works well. Wonder Woman's costume in this one, it looks like somebody was just finally said, all right, enough with her being in a one piece. Let's give her an actual costume. It was an interesting costume, but I mean, I'm not a pervert, but part of Wonder Woman's thing is just kind of that weird costume. I mean, it's kind of iconic, and I didn't mind it. In the JLA Adventures, they changed her costume, and they kind of gave her a cape. But that costume at least kind of riffed off of what she wears in the comics, which, if you don't know, it's like, this, down, and panties. That's pretty much what she wears. And in the Justice League one, they kind of gave her more of a leather gladiator dress, and she had the blue cape. This one, they just basically put her gloves all the way up to here. She had, a little turtleneck thing going. She wasn't wearing pants, but I was kind of like, okay, but I guess, I don't know if they're trying to dodge sensuality with her or just make her more of a warrior look. I don't know. But point of it is Justice League War retelling. If you've read the Justice League 1 through 6 comic book, it's an adaptation of that. The big difference is that there is no Aquaman. They instead have brought in Shazam. He's called Shazam, no more Captain Marvel. He's called Shazam, but they really have used the New 52 costume. The thing I liked is that the whole time he has a lightning crackling around him. The Batman character is spot on. All the characterizations are pretty much spot on as to what they are in the New 52. Green Lantern's kind of douchey. Superman's a heck of a lot more aggressive than he ever was. And they finally showed a Superman that you go, oh yeah, that's why his presence sways a battle one way or the other, because he was laying it down. I like the Flash. His costume was the only costume that was this older costume. His costume was not rebooted into the New 52, which I kind of go, yeah, that makes sense, because his costume was awesome. I don't know why they did the weird armor lightning bolts all over the place. But definitely, you've got that intensity. It is not for kids. There were bits and pieces that I let my daughter watch, and I ended up kind of getting in the way. There's definitely some language. I think, if memory serves, I think Cyborg even drops the F-bomb. So yeah, it's definitely not kid friendly. It's definitely more intense and that same intensity level of, say, Flashpoint Paradox or the old Wonder Woman, which was like an R-rated movie in my opinion. But if you like Superman, you're going to love Justice League War. If you like the way Batman interacts with other characters and he always just like puts everybody in their place, you're going to love this. Shazam kind of added a different dynamic. It makes me wonder, why didn't they put him in the Justice League team? Cyborg, I still question why, when they did the New 52, Cyborg was brought on the Justice League. I hate to say it, but I'm wondering if it's kind of like, well, we need a black guy in there, even though Martian Manhunter's kind of been presented as a black guy lately in the past couple of years since Smallville. I mean, if that's the case, I don't understand why they didn't just get Mr. Terrific, but that's just me. Cyborg always seemed kind of like a kid sidekick. He's more at home in the Teen Titans. But he was really good in this. They kind of linked him in Shazam, which I thought was really interesting. Every character had a link before this, so it wasn't just everybody brand new. Green Lantern and Flash were friends. Batman was aware of everybody. Superman was kind of... And of course, with the New 52 and Superman and Wonder Woman being together, it's definitely hinted and leaned at, and that, at the end of this, they got together. Anyway, so yes, Justice League War. Watch it. Story was great. Animation was amazing. Action was intense. I really can't suggest enough. Go buy it when it comes out. And if you're wondering how I saw it before it came out, well, that's just JLA Adventures. It's out now. Go get it if you're looking for a family-friendly movie you can watch and just have fun with the family. If you're into watching anything Justice League, I appreciated it. I had fun watching it. It's only an hour long. I would say go ahead and check it out. All right. Well, I have gone over my 10-minute mark. If you have any questions or comments or want to say anything or suggestions, email below. Please subscribe, comment. If you want to flame more about what we're talking about here, sounds great. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.